All right, guys, I got this in the mail today. It's from the Court of the Deadline. It's the fourth statue. It's called Oglavaeil, I believe. Oglavaeil, the Executioner. I think that's how you pronounce it. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. Um, and Hound, the dog. Um, so I just unboxed it, put it together, made sure nothing was broken, etc. Went through it, and I just wanted to do a little review on it to, maybe help some people that are on the fence of getting him. He does cost a pretty penny, and it's a Sideshow original line. I know how some people prefer not original lines and they'd rather go after the comic books, etc. But here's a little review for him. So, well, to start, this is the box. Pretty big box. I got number like 399, but who cares? And Hound, obviously, if you see, he's small. So his box is not that big. Pretty small. All right, so he is the executioner for the Court of the Deadline. The court exists of three categories. You have bone, flesh, and spirit. He's actually the executioner, so he carries out all the duties and responsibilities to what they feel should happen for anybody that commits a crime, treason, etc. So he's pretty much given that power by death himself. I was reading up on him a little bit. I've been reading up on him, but I just had to refresh my memory. And so he comes with these two humongous, like, sinister swords. I'll go more in depth in them in a few minutes. I just want to get you guys to see what I'm talking about. This is what he uses actually to kill whoever they send him to kill, the line. And then when I was reading it, his eyes is able to see through who's lying and who's not lying. So it's kind of like he's able to see if you're a liar or not. If you're betraying death himself or not. So this is his sole responsibility. This is his job. He carries out order. That's what he does. He has a dog with him. I guess that dog helps him hunt anybody down. So let's get into him. He comes in a total of, shipping wise, nothing was broken. He comes with the bottom piece, which it's hard to see. This piece down here. He comes with a top piece. His head is connected to the top piece. Two swords separate. This is separate. And Hound. He's solid. The base is solid. There's no. Let's pull Hound out a little bit right here. You could take Hound out. You can get him separate. That's why. So Hound just slides right in there. The base is super solid. There's nothing to say about that. I'm okay with solid bases. Some people like them, some people don't. I'm on the fence. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I personally like glass display. So when it comes to really solid items, I get kind of scared with my glass displays. But any ones that are heavy, I usually put on the bottom. So then he comes with this cloth. It's really nice. You have it's wilted on the bottom, like it's been used. He's been using it for years and years. It's dirty. It's pretty long too. So the way this works is connects on the top in the middle, and then it splits on both ends, and connects on his hand right here, the back of his arm. It connects there. Then he has this. It's kind of like like a armor on him. It connects. It goes all the way to the back here. It goes all the way to the top. Let me just move Hound over real fast. So he doesn't actually walk. He floats. And if you can see, it's hard to see under here. This is 1 foot here. And that's the other foot all the way over there. That's the other foot right there. This is guessing this is his cape. I was kind of wondering what the hell this black piece was that's holding him up. But I'm guessing it's his cape. You know, obviously they made it solid because they had to make something to keep him floating. So that was the only thing I was confused about, but after like 5 minutes I understood it. So then you go up, there's 2 legs right here, 1, 2, you're going up. Now you get into the hands, how he has more hands. So you have 1 hand there, this one, you have this one here, this one here. I'm guessing those are baby hands. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. See from the side. Then he has the horns, kind of like a bull horn. That's kind of cool. I really like that a lot. I'm going up. Okay. Then he has all this on him here. The swords I feel kind of cool. All right, let's get into his face actually. Then here's the skull. I think that's fucking pretty cool, man. I mean, yeah, it's pretty fucking nice. You look under. So it's pretty freaking cool. Let's get into a little bit more of the details. So these swords, the sinister swords that they say on the box, as you can see, has all the drawings on it, you know, to tell stories, etc. And it shows him pretty much. Let me see if I get the other one. Maybe easier so you guys can see. Yeah, this may be easier. There we go. So you see him there, town, and his little people. I'm guessing this is the afterlife because you see the woman with horns right there. And that's the thing. He goes and he follows our orders. If the court says we find this person guilty, that's what he does. He goes and he finds that person. It's not that much red as it's picking up on here. I think because I have the light shining on it. You can barely see it. I just noticed that now. It is a little bit red there. I mean, I'm guessing they wanted it to be like that because there's a lot of highlights on him all over. Like, if you can see the skin, like majority of statues when you get them, they're just flat paint, right? Like, you know, it's like the fucking statue has like Botox throughout his whole body or her body. It's like this one isn't. Like, you can see, like they made definite, like they discolored his skin a lot, different areas, and they gave it a certain texture. If you can see it, you know, they did that throughout the whole area. You see. So it looks, that's why it throws you off in a way when you're looking at it. You're like, what the fuck is, like there's something off about the statue. But then when you really look at it, you're like, okay, I get it. It's not like the majority of statues you get where everything is like, this. We're always looking for like the perfect skin complexion with like a little bit of faded here or there. This is like this throughout the whole thing. Well, it's dark in the middle where his bone structure will be at, more light on the outside. And it's kind of like you can see pores, but they're not in a way, you see. So that's pretty cool. But that's why even on the camera, it may be picking up weird. And even like right here, for me when I see it, it's like it looks like it's dust, and it's not. It's not dust. It's just discoloration. You know, his skin looks like it's rotting in a way. It looks pretty freaking cool if you ask me. Those go in. So it's like his bone structure's there, but like the meat is not as much there. That looks pretty cool. This is his back. So then you can look under here a little bit. And I think the reason why I like personally the Court of the Dead line, because it does have a good, to me personally, it has a good storyline. Really good. And I just like this the ancientness to it, like the story behind it. Like it just looks beautiful, and all the detail and everything. To me, it's amazing. I like it out of like a lot of the things I like. Out of all the things I like with Sideshow, I really like this. You know, obviously all the other stuff is more like licensed and, you know, DC, Marvel, etc., etc., etc. But like, I mean, you can't go wrong with this, man. You're gonna see nine out of 10 times in one day. You're gonna see something about Batman and Superman, regardless if it's on the internet or a kid holding a toy. You're not gonna see that with these things, and that's why I like these the most. So you can move in here. So he's around like 20. I mean, going up to here, the top, he's around in the 25 mark, 26 mark. So he's pretty freaking tall. Without that, obviously he's not that tall, and then he lands right here. Like I said, solid base, really solid, heavy. Let me put Hound back here. So Hound locks in better. I'm just gonna leave it like that. And the dog is pretty, I like the way the dog looks too. You see the bone structure of him? Like, that's freaking cool. It would have been cool if his mouth was open. Don't get me wrong. I think he's really, it's really amazing. I think it would have been even cooler if the mouth was open. Then like maybe you could have seen something inside, like a tongue or something. That would have been cool. I really like how the back paw is. And like I said, this locks in more right here. I don't care to do it right now. It's skinny. You see his bones, so it makes it even more and more creepier. And the same thing with the Hound. If you look at his skin, they really gave it a lot of fucking detail, man. Like, I must say, like, this has a lot of detail on it. And I think for like somebody that is gonna get it and it's gonna put on display and like just look at it, like walk away and look at it, then it may not be for you. You actually have to really look at this piece to get the full amount of time and effort that they put into it. Because it's not just, it's from afar you see it and you're like, oh, that's a cool, creepy piece. And that's all you're gonna say. Well, I'm trying to, sorry guys. But when you really go into it, then you really see the things. Now, the only thing I kind of was thinking was the fact that it is dark underneath here. Really freaking dark. And unless you're putting a light, it's hard to see what's going on there. And I think that's one of the biggest, it's not the main aspect of the statue, right? Like there's so much other stuff going on here. But it's one of the things where it makes it fucking creepy because his extra hands out of there. You know, so with the fact that there's not 100% light there, I don't know how, if you don't have lighting in your actual display cases, then I don't know how you're gonna be able to see that. Or feel like how you're spending money on X amount for the statue and you can barely see anything in that shit. So you gotta ask yourself, do you have lighting? Do you not have lighting? Do you have lighting that's gonna go underneath it and light them up so you can see that stuff? Because you see on here, you don't really see that much. And I have my flashlight on, and I also have a lamp sitting over here. But he hovers over. So when you have that light on the top of your display, it's gonna hover over him and you're not gonna see anything really. You're gonna need to put a light underneath him that lights up, which, you know, is just a little extra light. It's not that big of a deal. But other than that, if you're on the fence of getting him, I think you should. If you want something that's different than the actual typical everyday statues, which those are great, don't get me wrong, I have a lot of them too, then get him, because he is beautiful. It's the quarter of the deadline. Can you do without Hound? I mean, it really does complete him, but like, so like this is him with Hound. Then let me take Hound off. That's him without Hound. So it's not that big of, like, I don't think it's that big of a deal if you don't have him. It's not like it's like, oh my God, he's missing something. Like, people are gonna notice. You know, it's not like, oh my God, he's missing an arm. No, it doesn't, like, don't get me wrong, with Hound, he's completed. And that's what, you know, they wanted you to purchase Hound on the side, so it will be like that. So I don't think if you don't purchase him, it's gonna be a bad thing. but I do think if you do purchase him, it will help out the statue itself. So here's one more turnaround. Side. And you would probably have to display them somewhere along the line like this. Alright guys, so there it is. If you're on the fence of getting him, I mean look, you can always return shit with Sideshow, so it's not like, oh my god, you get it and it's like you're gonna lose the money forever. If you don't like it, just return it. You know, they give you the return policy. And if you order from Sideshow, that means you just get the credit, so, you know. So, here you go guys. So he is, again, he is the 4th one from the Court of the Deadline. If you're including the original Reaper that came out like 2 years ago. If you're not including him, then he's the 3rd one, because they did come out with a new Reaper that has a Court of the Dead base. So, you know, you could say he's the 3rd or the 4th one. And that's it, guys. There we go.